So building muscle is always one of those topics that you get 5 questions over on Instagram, Facebook, and I thought I'd just put a couple of tips together, all my tips that I've found have been useful for me. I'm going to break those down into 5 areas. First, when it comes to building muscle, I'm not talking about getting those big bulky gains of fatty tissue, looking like a big swole watermelon. I'm talking about making lean gains, good tissue, quality muscle, and building strength. Fundamental numero uno. First thing we want to be doing is stressing the muscle, tearing down the fibers, breaking down the muscle tissue itself. I'm not talking about this type of stressing.
You gotta dump that shit! You gotta dump that shit! Oh!
Now, the first thing is when it comes to building muscle is you're going to be lifting, obviously, but you're going to be using different mechanisms, whether you know it or not. Now, as you may or may not know, we have 2 different types of muscle fibers, 1 and 2. It's that simple. 1 is your slow twitch, good for your endurance activities. 2 is your fast twitch, larger muscle fibers, good for your explosive lifts, heavy lifting. Now, one of the benefits of working type 2 muscle fibers, so doing your heavy lifts, is that you're going to turn on protein synthesis, which is going to help you grow. Just make sure you do your heavy lifts. The way that you can do this and work your type 2 muscle fibers is going to be through mechanical trauma. So this is going to be done through damaging the tissue, through the lowering phase of the lift, so when you're coming down through the negative part of the squat, and through lifting heavy. Now, there's going to be 2 different types of stress. We've got metabolic stress, and we've got mechanical stress. Now, metabolic stress is when you have that burning feeling. So what is that burn? You know that feeling you get when you feel like, damn it, that shit's hurting, it's burning, like someone's got a hot iron pressed against a muscle. That's your lactic acid build-up. A lot of people see lactic acid as a bad thing, but lactic acid is what is going to help you grow. And this is why your rest time is important, retrospective to your goals. Now, if you want to build muscle, you best not be sitting there 3 sessions on your Instagram, banging out the red hearts, sliding into the DMs, looking at your fit chicks, because that's where you're losing the lactic acid build-up. And you're not going to grow. Now, to build up metabolic stress, you're going to need to do a couple of different things by using supersets, high volume, drop sets. Now, mechanical stress. Now, this is where rest time is going to change. So with mechanical stress, you're looking at hitting bigger numbers, building up your strength, and you're going to be looking at taking about 3 to 5 minutes rest time. This is basically so you can lift as fucking heavy as you can. So we can break down those type 2 muscle fibers. Problem is, people do one or the other. My advice would be to incorporate them both into one. Fundamental DOS, the way you lift, i.e. tempo. The next thing we're going to look at here is the way that you lift. Now, I'm not the fucking form police, I don't care about the way you're lifting, it's more so about the tempo and the speed of your lift. Now, to optimize for mass, the squat, bench and dead, again, is always going to be the focal point of your program, but the way that you lift is going to be a little bit different if you want to increase muscle size rather than strength. Bodybuilders and powerlifters both hit these 2 movements, but if you look at their physiques, they both look completely different. So why is that? So let's, for example, take a look at the bench press and the way that a bodybuilder may hit the bench press. They're going to have a flat back, be controlling the range of motion, keeping time under tension, hitting a lot slower reps. Bodybuilder basically wants to make the movement harder so it can increase the time under tension. Whereas a powerlifter wants to make the movement shorter, easier, so he may set up on the bench press. You may see him big arch in that back, chest nice and high, short range of motion, nice quick rep. One's focusing on destroying the muscle, one's focusing on destroying the rep. This is where you need to focus on what your goal is. Do you want to be more strength based or do you want to be more size based? And this is the way that you're going to need to think about things when it comes to hitting these lifts. Now, for myself personally, I like to do a little bit of both. So I'll start my sessions with maybe more a power based movement and hit the deadlift or the squat or the bench with the goal of hitting numbers, and then I'll go more into my isolation and my hypertrophy work where I can induce more metabolic stress. And then I'll hit some plyo work or some aerobic work just because I like to get a little bit sweaty. Not that it gives me like a sexual turn on. Or does it? No, I just like to feel wet. Stop it. If you simply focus on one of these elements in terms of metabolic or mechanical stress, you're limiting yourself straight away. It's like having shredded wheat in the morning with no milk. No, it's nothing like that actually. Fundamental number 3, forcing change and adaptation. Now this is a big one for me, so if you're not forcing a change during your workout or forcing a muscle group to adapt, it's time to change something, young man. I like to shock my muscles, think outside the box, and that's why I really enjoy functional bodybuilding, but that's a different video altogether. If you want to see some more functional bodybuilding, I'll include my Instagram page here, and I'll link below for you to jump over to that and see some of my functional bodybuilding workouts. was I? Yeah, so things to consider changing and to force progressive overload are going to be volume, intensity, rep times, load. Your body needs to be forced to adapt to given a new stimulus. It's like going to the gym and hitting your bicep curls with exactly the same weight, exactly the same rep ranges, exactly the same tempo each week. Your bicep's going to be like, fuck you, Ben, I don't need to change, because you're not forcing it to. And get creative with your workouts, do some different shit, switch up the rep ranges, the load, the tempo, and record how these changes are helping your progress. Fundamental number 4, don't get injured. Now this may seem pretty obvious to some, but you've got to remember we are the human race. So we're dealing with some pretty stupid people here. Now what is the thing that is going to keep you out of the gym most, apart from Netflix and chill? Obviously getting injured. Now it's not the sexy stuff, but doing some banded work, spending 10 minutes to do some stretching, doing some PNF, or warming up and getting some blood flow is gonna help prevent pulling something, twisting something, snapping something. It's also gonna help you feel like you're not just a meathead who can't move. If you're also the type of person who grows off lifting heavy all the time, you're gonna need to take a deload week or a rest week every now and again, because that load is always going to put pressure on your joints, on your ligaments, and it's going to take a toll on its wear and tear after a while. Now you've got to think, if you pull something or tweak something or get injured, you're going to be out for a few weeks, and then it's going to take you a few weeks to get back to that point again where you were at. Yeah, ball ache. This is why, again, functional bodybuilding has been great for me, because it allows me to do my heavy lifting, my hypertrophy, my isolation work, my plyometric work, my aerobic work, and switch it up all the time. Fundamental number 5, enjoy it. Okay, it's getting weird now. Now again, sounds fairly obvious, but for many people who are watching Instagram, YouTubers, bodybuilders, men's health mags, it's forcing people to jump in the deep end before they can swim. If you're going from doing very little to wanting to up the ante, to make some gains, to add some muscle tissue, you've got to look at it like a scale. Be progressive, up the ante a little bit each day, look to move up the scale in small increments. But please, don't turn into a bro. Chicken and broccoli diet, the bro split, no lifestyle, the shit that lasts for about 2 weeks because it's just not you. Pick a type of training which you actually enjoy doing, that you can see yourself sticking for longer than 2 weeks, and then just be consistent with it. Don't turn the gym into a chore. Now I love training every single day, which may be a bit boring to some, but since I got away from the bro split and the bro style training kind of thing, and getting into the functional bodybuilding, I loved every single day of it. That's it from me for the fundamentals of building muscle. I hope you enjoyed it. That's what's worked for me. It's what's worked for my clients that I coach online. If you've got any questions, feel free to drop them below. If you found the video helpful and you enjoyed it, please give it a big thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. See you soon, guys.